Thank you. I hope you can hear my voice.
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm Maiko Uga from Ministry of the Environment, Japan. And thank you all for participating in this webinar. And also, I'd like to thank Dr. Lien and Mr. Haga about your opening remarks and all the efforts done by the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment of Vietnam and the Global Environmental Center Foundation of Japan. So today, I would like to briefly introduce the joint crediting mechanism. And we also have a Q&A time later, and I welcome your comments or questions. And next slide, please. Before going to the JCM, I would like to share the Japan's climate target. And so we have a 46 emission reduction target by 2030 compared to 2013 level. And we also have a long-term goal, which is net zero emission by 2050 compared to 2013 level. So you see this orange arrow, and I would like to emphasize the next 10 decades will be decisive, and we really need to accelerate our action toward this net zero target. Next slide, please. So now I would like to move on to the joint crediting mechanism, the JCM. And this diagram summarizes the concept of the JCM. So to tackle the climate crisis, everyone has to take actions. And so under the Paris Agreement, every country has an emission reduction target. Japan, of course, will take a strong domestic action to reduce emission, but we also like to cooperate with other countries to contribute to this issue. So the JCM is a bilateral cooperation between Japan and partner countries. And this includes not only the government, but also there are other actors in those countries, including the private sector that actually implement projects in most cases. So the government, we create this JCM, the framework, and under this framework, we promote the introduction of leading decarbonizing technologies or maybe protecting the forest, so implementation of mitigation actions. And we also not only just carry out projects, but evaluate those efforts in a quantitative manner. And lastly, we'll put it, these efforts will be formed as a carbon credits, and these are shared by the Japan and the partner countries. So, which means JCM really contribute to the emission reduction targets of both countries. So, maybe as you know, the recent COP26, we had a successful conclusion of the rulebook for the Article 6, which is really tells about the carbon market mechanism, how it operates. And so we are expecting the carbon market will further expand. And I believe that JCM as a pioneering mechanism under this Article 6 of the Paris Agreement will benefit not only for the GHG emissions in all the countries, but also for the sustainable development of partner countries. Next slide, please. So this slide just show you current JCM partner countries, and we have 17 countries at this moment, including Vietnam. And Japan hopes to have more countries to accelerate our climate actions. And between Japan and Vietnam, the JCM was started in 2013, And recently we extended to 2030. So now we are very much excited to actually implement more projects. Next slide, please. This is a brief summary in the table of all the funding the Ministry of the Environment Japan has at this moment, and later representative from other GSE will introduce more about this JCM model project. And this is by far the largest funding for the project, and hopefully you will access this finance to implement decarbonization projects. Next slide, please. And this is a map of all the projects we have been supporting. And in Vietnam, we have 37 projects, including the F-gas projects. And we hope to see more projects, and hopefully this webinar will give you more ideas and interest in the JCM. Next slide, please. And again, this is the picture of the actual projects we have supported. And in Vietnam, we have many projects, but I put a photo of large solar projects and also energy efficiency project in the factories. And also we put high efficiency transformers all over the Vietnam. So a lot of kinds of projects are possible in JCM. And if you have any questions, we can consult and how you can realize those projects. Next slide, please. This shows the technology transfer through the JCM. So about half of the projects are renewable energies, and about half of energy efficiency. And each category, we have a variety of technologies, and we look forward to select new technologies or cutting edge project. And so also there are some projects in waste and transport sectors, and hopefully we'll have more projects such as waste to energy that we recently selected in Vietnam. And next slide, please. So this slide shows a recent project in Vietnam. So this fiscal year, 8 JCM model project and 1 JCM F-gas project were selected. And energy efficiency improvement project accounts for the largest portion, and followed by the renewable energy projects. Next slide, please. So this is my last slide. And so as I briefly mentioned, so at the UN Climate Change Conference, the rule book for this Article 6 or the market mechanism was concluded. And so which gives us more clarity on how we can use this carbon market to realize our emission reduction targets. And so Japan, we are leading the Article 6 negotiation, and together with all the partner countries, including Vietnam, we are the forerunner with the experience of the JCM. We like to strengthen our effort in these 3 actions. So we like to expand partner countries, and also like to strengthen the project development and implementation in collaboration with international organizations such as ADB and World Bank. And second point, we like to scale up the JCM by mobilizing further private finance. And until this moment, government provided the most finance because the carbon market wasn't active because the rule wasn't clear. But now we have Article 6, and a lot of private sectors want to use the carbon market to implement the project. So we are discussing how we can give more opportunity with less government finance, but more private finance coming to the JCM. So lastly, government would like to contribute to the global operationalization of this carbon market mechanism, because sometimes we need to have a capacity building activities for each partner country, but Japan would like to support those aspects, and which really leads to the more projects in the future. So this is a brief summary of what we're gonna do, but if you have any question about my presentation, we welcome your question. Thank you.